Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning and your weekend so far. I got you an update on this major winter storm. This is the morning update. I'm sorry I'm a few hours late. I just want to sleep in and get some rest for tonight as I plan on being up most of the night just tracking this winter storm for you guys. But I'll have you an update this evening too, so that's not going to change. But got you an update on this. This storm is cranking up already. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to work from the shorter range portions of this storm all the way through the southeast, all the way up to the mid-Atlantic and the northeast. So if you folks are basically in the mid-Atlantic and northeast, I'm going to get to you towards the end of the video. So fast forward if you're wanting to check out your areas for that area. But there's a lot to discuss in this video. Some things have changed. And so stick with me. If you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. Like the video if you like it. Thank you all for the amazing support over the last 2 weeks. Holy cow, it doesn't even feel realistic. It really doesn't. Y'all are helping me live a dream right now. Really, really are. It's been a long week, but it's been a fun week just tracking this with you guys. So hit me up on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, hit me up on Facebook because I am really trying to make that Facebook pop off here. I'm at 3,000 likes. I'm trying to get to 10K. So definitely hit me up there. I keep you guys very updated on all my social media profiles. So it's a great way to stay up to date with the latest information, which I'm always posting when the weather's going crazy like it is right now. So thank y'all for the amazing support. If you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments. Gives me an opportunity to pray for you guys. Gives others an opportunity to do so too. So we look at the radar image right now. The storm is cranking up in Missouri. You got snow falling. This is this northern stream piece of energy that's going to phase with this southern piece here, and this is going to kind of come together and really crank up here. But you got snow falling in areas of St. Louis, Columbia, Missouri. There is snow falling in portions of Arkansas too, as the dynamics of this is really getting cranked up. So there's a lot to discuss right now. This is the National Weather Service version of watches and warnings. So I mentioned this at the end of the video last night. If you really want to check out the National Weather Service forecast, and you absolutely should, because those are the professionals. Just check out this link right here, put it in your browser bar, hit search, and really just find your area and click it. For example, I'll hit the National Weather Service in Greenville, Spartanburg. It takes me to here and every region that they cover, and they'll break you down the latest for in-depth information for that specific area and covering your county if say you are in that area. So definitely take advantage of this. But as you can see, there's ice storm warnings up, winter weather advisories upgraded from the winter storm watches that were issued yesterday afternoon. But still winter storm watches up for Tennessee. There's just still a big question mark. This could be a boom or bust kind of situation for Tennessee, and I'm going to talk about this in this video. So what we're going to do, we're going to work with the latest HRRR model. We're going to take a look at the NAM, look at accumulations for both, go through ice totals, and really talk about the dynamics of the storm as far as dew points, temperatures, and things like that. So stick with me in this video. The latest updated long-range HRRR model. Here we go. This is we're going to start off at about 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So obviously that's right now. So we're going to keep moving through here in time. The snow begins to sink southward, as you can tell. I think there's going to be a period of heavy snow in northern Arkansas. This is the upper level energy part of this. This is the upper level low, if you will. The dynamics in this is much different than it is in here. At the same time, while this is moving, as we're getting into the late evening hours tonight, you have a cold air damming event reinforcing itself into the Carolinas. What that's doing is it's funneling in dry air, cooler air into the atmosphere, and then a warm nose is going to set up. But as this is going on, I think the majority of this system, for example, in Tennessee, areas of northern Alabama and Mississippi, and even Georgia, are going to be seeing rain for the dominant part of the beginning of the storm. As this low pressure continues to move in, you start to have a heavy band of sleet and snow break out. Portions of Greenville, Spartanburg, Charlotte, obviously the mountains, and the Triad of North Carolina starts off as a nice brief period of snow. So if you want to see snow in these areas right into here in the Carolinas and northern part of Georgia, especially obviously and mainly northeast of Atlanta, you're really going to want to wake up really early, and because it's going to quickly switch to sleet for all areas outside of the mountains. In fact, you see these purple areas, this is all sleet. So I'm going to freeze the frame right here because I think it's important to look at some soundage right here and not just these graphics. So we freeze it right here, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. So let's look at a sounding right here and around Rock Hill, South Carolina. Okay, so there's something called the warm nose, and you see these red lines right here. That's the actual temperatures throughout the atmosphere. The further this goes up, the farther higher up in the atmosphere it goes. So you notice up in the atmosphere it's colder, right? So the temperature is cold, cold, cold. You got 0 degrees Celsius, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. This line goes like this kind of vertically up here. So the temperature is cold enough for snow, but then it gets above freezing, I would say a few thousand feet up in the air. It's anywhere from 3 to 6,000 feet up in the air. It gets above freezing. What happens here is that snow melts to sleet, and if it stays a stout enough warm nose, it melts all together to just flat out rain. But then it gets closer to the surface where it's just a couple thousand feet up in the air, and then it gets below freezing again. In this case, it gets really below freezing, closer to the surface, into the mid-20s. So therefore, the rain is able to freeze back into sleet. But it's so cold, it doesn't quite make it to, it's basically so cold in this region right here, the atmosphere, it's not able it's able just to stay sleet because it's so cold in a sense here. But you look at a sounding right here a little bit deeper south, for example, into central South Carolina, and this cold air and this warm nose is stout. And at the surface, it's only 32 degrees. So this is going to stay rain, but it's at 32 degrees. So you're flirting with a freezing rain event at this time. So you got basically rain falling to the surface, and this warm nose melts all winter weather precipitation a few thousand feet up in the air. Then it gets to the surface and tries to refreeze because at the surface it's colder than the temperature about 3,000 to 5,000 feet up in the air. You look at a sounding out here, say in the Mid-South in areas of Tennessee and Mississippi, it's a little bit different here, and that's not a good example right here. Let's check this out right here. At the surface, you notice this red line, it flirts with that 32 degree line, but it never really quite gets above it. You lose the warm nose effect. And at the surface, though, it's warmer than the soundings I was showing. So it stays snow, and at this point, it turns into wet, wet snow. I'm talking about those flakes that are like the size of $50 falling in areas of Tennessee. This is the upper level low. You lose that warm nose and you get more cold air aloft at all levels of the atmosphere, and you're not dealing with that. It's a different dynamic part of this storm. So we're getting going here. You got freezing rain in the pink, sleet in the purple as we're getting into 7 a.m. This continues to crank up. We start to get more enough warm air advection with this low pressure moving closer by to the point where we lose the freezing rain and goes to flat out plain rain for areas of central South Carolina. But this is when the ice storm really starts to get serious for upstate South Carolina. The sleet starts to really push itself all the way into like the Greenville-Spartanburg up to the Greensboro area. You start to turn to freezing rain in Charlotte and into Greenville-Spartanburg. And then the upper dynamics of this system really moves in. And then you could switch you to all snow potentially for Atlanta. Watch out for that as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening. And this continues to work through. And I want to mention, it is absolutely unloading snow. I know it's just showing green and yellow and looks weird. But tomorrow, depending on where you are from west to east, in Tennessee, northern areas of Mississippi and Alabama, and even northern areas of Georgia, you're going to go from pouring rain to pouring snow. Just like that. It's going to happen like that sometime tomorrow for you guys, depending on location. This continues to swing through, and the kind of upper level dynamics of this storm starts to even move through the Carolinas. And then you get some wraparound moisture that kind of comes through, and maybe in the form of some snow flurries and some snow showers, or maybe just drizzle for areas of the Carolinas on top of this ice you already have. And I'm hoping and praying somehow we can get a flurry or two down here in Central Midlands where I'm located. But this continues to move through here. We look at the NAM, kind of similar, maybe not as similar, but same kind of situation, right? You back it up here. I don't want to forget about you guys in Arkansas. The NAM for you guys here later this evening wants to, just wallop you guys in portions of Arkansas with a heavy band of snow. We'll see how that works out. The upper dynamics of the storm continues to move through. It wants to show snow flurries as far south as southern Mississippi. And then check it out. It starts to crank up with this ice storm for South Carolina and sleet storm for Charlotte, and then heavy snow in the mountains. But this is going to be such an interesting part of the storm right in here, is the upper level part of the storm as you're getting into late morning for Nashville. I feel bad for you folks in the National Weather Service, because it is going to be so hard to forecast snowfall for that area. It really is. It's going to be a tough forecast. But you notice the purples you're seeing on this map, that's sleet. The pink is freezing rain. I think somewhere in the upstate of South Carolina and the Piedmont, North Carolina is going to really get a nasty ice storm. I'm talking about a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch of ice, which is enough to really start breaking tree branches and knocking down power. And I really think people in these areas are going to lose power in upstate South Carolina. I really think y'all are. I'm hoping maybe the warm air saves y'all. But I really think there's going to be an I-95 corridor, maybe just points south in the northern Midlands, the upstate, up towards York County, Chester County, Lancaster, Chesterfield. You guys could really get a nasty ice storm cranking up early tomorrow morning. So y'all need to prepare. If you got a generator, make sure it's serviced and ready to roll. But definitely just prepare for the worst case. And just for just for laughs and giggles, going out and go buy all the bread and milk. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't want to be that person that tells everybody to do that. I think it's funny that we do that in the South. To me, it's a vibe itself, right? When I get into a grocery store and I see that, to me, it excites me. I'm like, oh yeah, we got winter weather coming, So, anyways, let me get off that. But if you look at the NAM, it shows sleet getting all the way into the mountains. I don't know about that, but one thing I want to mention is there is a nasty dry slot showing up somewhere in eastern Tennessee, maybe northern Georgia, and this might cut down on totals for you guys. In fact, I think that's why if you look at the National Weather Service watches and warnings, it's kind of isolated in this area, and I think it's just a big question mark. But the NAM wants to show some nice light to moderate snow wrapping into areas like Atlanta, and then look at this band pivoting and cranking up. I really think someone's going to get 6 to 8 inches in central Tennessee. I really do. And it might be Nashville, but we'll see. The NAM wants to get pretty nasty for areas of Virginia. I know I'm not mentioning you guys. This is going to be a thumping of snow for Virginia. It really is. It gets into Washington, D.C. up here. Y'all are going to start off as a quick thump of snow, and it's going to quickly go to sleet, freezing rain, then back just a whole plain rain. Looking back south, watch these little snow flurries to try to wrap in the backside of this storm into the upstate of South Carolina, maybe northern the Midlands. Nice coating of ice with a little bit of snow on top. I'm sure it'll look beautiful, but it'll be dangerous. It really will. Keep going here. This is the latest snowfall totals for the HRRR model. Look how weird it looks in Tennessee. That is because the upper dynamics of this system is incredible. There's going to be pockets of extremely heavy snow, and there's going to be pockets where there's not. So I'm really watching western Tennessee where someone could really get whiffed here. But then central to eastern portions of Tennessee, watch out. But look at this kind of gap in the snowfall right here. It's kind of whiffing someone here. It's going to be interesting to see who gets dry slotted and very disappointed here. But I'm warning you guys, somewhere in the valley of Tennessee, and I hate it because you guys whiff a lot just being in the valley and having issues with temperatures. But I don't know how this is going to work out for you folks. I know a lot of people up in this region, and they're already talking about it. But I think this is a little overdone here into the upstate of South Carolina. I really think areas like Greenville, Spartanburg to Charlotte, I really think you're going to get a lot of sleet. But, HRRR model still holding out hope for you in Atlanta. We look at snowfall totals courtesy of the NAM. And, I think the NAM does a very good job for the areas of the Carolinas as far as snowfall totals and how they're going to be confined to the foothills and mountains. And I just think these areas just southeast of these snowfall totals are going to get a band of heavy sleet. I do not have Weather Bell, which shows a really good graphic for sleet, and I think I'm going to end up getting me a subscription to that here in the future. But it shows a nasty area of a 1/2 inch to a couple inches of sleet. That is a lot of sleet, guys. Sleet does not pile up the same as snow does. It takes a lot longer to pile up. But if you're in northern, central, and Alabama, you're pulling for the NAM because it's showing pockets of heavy snow, but it's very isolated pockets. And obviously the NAM really just plasters areas of northern Arkansas here in the next few hours. Very interesting storm. We'll look at ice totals, which I hate we're so deep into the video and just mentioning this, but ice totals are looking intense. It wants to show close to a 1/4 inch of ice in Columbia. It wants to show a little ice in Atlanta, almost a 1/4 inch of ice in Charlotte. But look at this corridor right here where you got a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of ice in the northern Midlands, just south of the 85 corridor. It wants to show ice all the way up into the mid-Atlantic too. I'm very interested to see how this plays out in areas of Western Virginia. But there's going to be a nasty area of ice right in here. That's why you got the ice storm warnings up, which are very rare. NAM is very, I'm sorry, this is 3 km NAM. As far as ice, it's very weird. I don't, in fact, I don't even know why I'm showing it, honestly. But shows all this ice up here, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I think it's just weird it's showing all that. But I do think these heavier ice totals, you can go on and cut them down by at least a quarter, at least 25%. But, you know, it does a good job of showing you where the heaviest ice could be right in here. You keep going here. You look at snowfall totals. This is the National Weather Service blend of models. Great thing to look at. I think I really like the idea of it. It just blends all the model guides together and really creates what it thinks it's going to be. I think this may be underdone in portions of Tennessee. It does not want to give you guys much snow in areas of northern Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia. But I like the idea setting up with the snowfall totals right here in the Carolinas, and it likes that area of a hot spot in northern Arkansas. I'm going to be very interested to see how this verifies. There's already snow on the ground in portions of Arkansas right now with snow falling, but obviously you see these areas up further north, West Virginia, areas of eastern Ohio, and then areas of central and western Pennsylvania. You are going to get hit hard with this with several inches of snow. You look at the ice a little bit further this way. I like this. I like this total, especially in Columbia. You know, 1/10 of an inch, maybe a little higher of ice. I think it might be a little higher in Charlotte, maybe, but it does show the corridor heavier ice. And you're starting to see more ice showing up here in the western Midlands and kind of southern areas of the upstate. Now, I'm watching that here, see how that actually verifies. But a lot of this stuff here is going to be going off observations. And that's what I'm very excited to watch as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. How deep does this cold air damming get entrenched? How much do the dew points drop? It's going to be very interesting watching this. But ice totals showing up as far north as Virginia. I think Virginia will see ice. But I don't know if it's going to be as much as some of these models are showing. But this is the perfect thing to look at. National Weather Service prediction of ice as of right now. This is looking nasty for this area right in here. Chester, York County, Union County, and all these counties right into here. Just south of Greenville, Spartanburg. This is 1/4 to 1/2 inch of ice showing up. There's some icing even in southern areas. Watch out, Columbia, South Carolina, and then into the northeastern areas of Georgia here. And then there's some nasty ice showing up in the Piedmont, even Triad of North Carolina, even the Triangle. You guys are going to start off as a burst, for example, Raleigh, burst of snow, then changing to freezing rain, maybe some sleet mixed in too. But it's going to be interesting watching how this unfolds, the ice storm part of this storm. Prepare for power outages in these areas right in here. I really think y'all are going to lose power. Gear up, go on and get ready this afternoon and evening, and really have a plan. So we'll break this down. This is what you call dew points. It's not temperatures. This is dew points, and this is for around, let's back it up here a little bit. This is for about 3 p.m. this afternoon. Look at this. You see how these bars are kind of tilted this way? This is winds from the northeast moving in. And I'm going to keep moving this in frame. And you notice how the dew points are dropping in North Carolina and areas of South Carolina. That is cold air damming, getting itself situated east of the mountains and really bringing in some cold, dry air as we're getting going. But as this low pressure moves, it begins to erode and kind of moisten up that dry air. And basically the wet bulb is met, and that is when the dew points moisten up and the temperatures drop, and wherever they meet that is your wet bulb, and that's where your temperature is going to sit and fluctuate. And that's what happens in these situations. So this is some pretty significant dry air showing up here, and that's why you're seeing all of these ice totals. You look at the latest HRRR model with the same time frame as we're getting through the day. Here comes the cold air damming situating in. The moisture is moving in at this point. Freezing line makes it as far south as the areas of the PD and the central Midlands, and that's why you have winter weather advisories even up for these southern areas right down here, because there's going to be a period of freezing rain. And then there's the cold air is really entrenched into the upstate of South Carolina, obviously North Carolina, and then the icing is going to begin with temperatures in the 20s and lower 30s. So dangerous situation definitely showing up here. For my folks up in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, you are in the range of the HRRR model. We'll get this going here. Virginia, here comes this burst of snow for Washington, D.C. as we get into tomorrow afternoon. This will look nice at first, but it's going to get ugly later on as y'all switch to maybe a period of sleet, then just maybe switch over to all rain. This low pressure begins to move up. Even areas that see a lot of snow in Virginia, At first, it's going to switch to sleet and freezing rain, so it's going to be an ugly end to the storm for you guys. I think most of West Virginia, Ohio definitely stays snow, but look at the snow in Kentucky. I think y'all could get some bands of heavy snow showing up for you guys. This moves in, I think, New York City, and then the whole entire southern portion of New Jersey and the Delmarva stay mostly raining this, but points north, a nice burst of snow for everybody. It wants to show a nice burst of snow as you get into the overnight hours Sunday into Monday for areas of Boston and most of the area of southern New England. But you guys definitely switch to heavy rain and a lot of wind. I want to mention, even south, there's going to be wind. The wind is going to be a factor that I'm really going to discuss tonight. So stick with me tonight, because with ice on the trees, it's going to get dangerous. It really is. It really is. But this is a big-time band of heavy snow pivoting into northwest areas of New York State. I'm talking about Buffalo, things like that. Y'all can get a lot of snow. This is as far out as it goes. But we'll look at snowfall totals from the EPS ensembles. Stout signal just northwest of this I-95 corridor. 5 inches showing up. Well, no, a couple inches showing up for Washington, D.C. Heavy snow for West Virginia, especially the eastern portions of the state. A nice several-inch event for Kentucky. For you folks in Ohio, it is trending better. Still, the northwest part of the state looks to not really get anything. But, Dayton's starting to look better. The whole entire eastern part of the state's looking better. And then Pittsburgh, you guys are going to get well over a half a foot of snow. And then into Maine, I think everybody's going to see snow, but portions of the down east area are definitely going to switch to rain. That's for sure. But definitely some heavier totals showing up. You look at the National Weather Service blend of models, and stout signal showing up for heavy snow for you guys. We'll get a little bit more in depth for you guys tomorrow morning as the storm cranks up for you guys. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Having an update this evening. Really just in a few hours, honestly. But God bless. Have a great Saturday, and talk to you soon.